A very warm welcome to this Compendium taster video. My name's Claire Agata and I'm the founder of Scopism. In the 2025 SIAM Body of Knowledge refresh, we added Compendiums, which are new, short publications that look at emerging topics in the SIAM space and allow us to look at how they might affect SIAM adoption around the world. In this video, you will hear from some of the contributors to the compendium, a little bit more about the details. After you've watched the video, you can then download the compendium in the community, and in each document, you'll find a feedback link. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do use the link and complete the short survey. Enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, my name is Dolf van der Haven. I'm here with Harry Lamers and we are going to talk you through the compendium about experience management and XLAs, which is part of the new SIAM Body of Knowledge. I was the lead author of this compendium and worked with a whole lot of people, including Harry. So Harry, could you introduce yourself?
Thank you for the introduction, Dolf. My name is Harry Lamers. I'm working for a managed service provider, CMAC, in the Netherlands. And since, I think, 2022, involved with the Scopism as content creator, but also getting knowledge from the community, which I can use in my day job.
Thanks for that. This compendium was a collaboration between Scopism and the XLA Institute. Now, Harry, you're not like formally a representative of the XLA Institute, but you work a lot with them, and CMAC is one of the founding members of the XLA Institute. So can you say something about what the XLA Institute does exactly?
And the XLA Institute is a platform organization which is founded in 2024 with the help of around 10 founding members, managed service providers, independent software developers, research organizations, etc. Currently, we have 2,000 members all over the world. We have, as XLA Institute, we are active in multiple countries like US, Brazil, the UK, and Netherlands, and our plans to extend to other countries like Germany, Australia, that I understood. The purpose of the XLA Institute is quite similar to Scopism. Together with the community, create the experience management framework and further develop it, but also distribute it and bring people and organizations together. And I think this is a great example where two organizations like Scopism and the XLA Institute have found each other and are working together and have become partner organizations.
Yeah, and that collaboration is great, in fact. The XLA Institute focuses on, well, basically two things that are very closely related: experience management and XLAs. Can you say something about why those two concepts are important for service providers?
Yeah, I think everybody who is consuming services will recognize that the success of a service is not depending on the service agreements that are written down in the contract and many times operational, like how fast, if I have a disturbance, it's solved, but it's more about how the service consumer experience the services, how is the collaboration with the service provider, and what's the business impact the service is providing in terms of efficiency, productivity, customer value, employer value, or future value. And by using experience management, you have a framework to make that explicit and measurable, which helps you to, in an ecosystem, further develop the service that you provide to your customer, to your employees.
Understood. Thank you for that explanation, Harry. Let's go and talk a little bit about this new compendium. It's one of the largest compendiums, I think, in the whole series. I mean, this is more than 60 pages long. Thanks to all the contributors to this. This is not something I did on my own, obviously. So 60 pages. The main content of the compendium is about an introduction, of course, in what is experience management, what are XLAs, but also mostly how do you apply those in a SIAM ecosystem. Because a SIAM ecosystem, of course, consists of many different organizations that collaborate with each other. And then the question is, okay, I mean, where do you need to do experience management exactly? Is it only in the main service provider, which is known as the SIAM customer, or should experience management also be implemented in the service integrator, in all the supplier organizations, and who coordinates all that? XLAs, just like SLAs, where do you agree an XLA as part of experience management? Is that just between the main service provider and the users of the service? Or do you put XLAs in place between the service provider and the supplier, the service provider and the service integrator? Those are a few of the topics that are covered in the compendium, and this is only maybe like the first 5 pages of the 60 in the compendium. There's a lot more, including governance of experience management, how you practically incorporate experience management in a SIAM ecosystem, the human side of experience management, how you can make sure that experience management gets adopted well across the whole SIAM ecosystem, and then several other topics which we've tried to make it as practical as possible.
And Dolf, I think these are all topics. Organizations are, I don't want to say struggle, but are trying to figuring out how to, in a multi-vendor ecosystem, how to incorporate. And the topics like service integration and experience management, both are quite extensive subjects. Can you tell us a little bit, or the audience, how the process from the first idea of the compendium till having created the compendium went? Because it's great fun for people to contribute and share their opinion about a certain topic. So maybe in the future they want to join.
Yeah, absolutely. I think thanks for that question. I mean, this was not only collaboration between Scopism and the XLA Institute. I mean, this is collaboration between multiple people. And I mean, there's a pretty long list of contributors to this particular compendium. I was basically asked by Scopism, by one of the architects, to lead the development of actually another compendium. And then later, this compendium about experience management came up, and I agreed to lead the development of this as well. And then the question is, okay, who else is there? Who else wants to raise their hands and contribute to this compendium? And those were all people that I didn't know before, like I didn't know you, Harry, before we started off this collaboration. But I mean, once you go along and people come into the group with their own background and their own experience, and they typically spontaneously come up with, oh yeah, I want to write about this, I want to write about that. And then you agree on an outline. And then a couple of weeks later, you think nothing happens. But then a couple of weeks later, you come back and then all of a sudden you've got 60 pages of content, which is great, of course, but it is also very good content. And that eventually led to, well, after a couple of iterations with the architects, etc., and reviewers, that led to the Compendium as it is. So it's really very dynamic collaboration with contributions that you typically don't see coming. It's very interesting to see what people come up with and how it all fits together. And as the lead author, you of course have the responsibility to make it fit together. So here and there some rearrangements, rewriting, name it, and that dynamic process, that whole collaboration between volunteers was actually very interesting and very pleasant to work through.
It sounds like a great journey that we made. And I think it's good to say that everybody was a volunteer in this process. So it is, personally, I find it great fun to create content together with a group who you don't know, and where you find out that there is so much knowledge within the group, and together create a white paper or a piece of content which can give back to the community.
Exactly. And I mean, talking about that, Harry, I mean, you contributed to the Scopism Compendium, but you also led the development of a white paper that involves SIAM within the XLA Institute. Can you say something a little bit about what that white paper is about?
Yeah. Within the XLA Institute, we have a SIAM chapter, together with 3 other persons. We lead it, and we have created a white paper about how to use the experience management framework in a service integration environment. And actually, there's a sequel on the white paper that we within Scopism have written last year, which was presented to the world during Service Nord 2024. In that white paper, the Scopism white paper, the topic was how can we measure the contribution of service integration? Actually, quite straightforward question, but a very extensive subject. And during that process, we introduced the experience management framework, which was incorporated in the white paper. But experience management is such an extensive subject. Mm-hmm. There was not enough room in the white paper or place in the white paper to go into more detail. So actually, it asked for a sequel or a follow-up in another white paper. And we happily picked that up within the XLA Institute. And next to that, the XLA Institute and Scopism came together in a partnership. And I think that's one of the great outputs from this project. Not that we have 2 additional white papers and a compendium, but also members that were introduced in both organizations, where we bring together knowledge about experience management and service integration together, because I think IT will become, and has become very important in our daily life, and how can we benefit from technology and services even more by monitoring and improving collaboration, business impact, and experience for the user.
Thanks for that explanation, Harry. Back to the Scopism compendium as part of the SIAM Body of Knowledge. There is like a vaguely defined target group of organizations and people who should be interested in reading this compendium. I mean, it's 63 pages or so take some time to do that.
That's a good point, Dolf. Actually, for who? I thought that was my question in the script. Can we cut this out?
Yeah, so
I was waiting for your question, and I thought, okay, well, let's just do it.
yeah, okay, all right then. But bear with me for a minute, because we've actually had a little bit, as you probably figured out, we had a little bit of a glitch as well. Let me just make a note of the time that we're
Did
at.
you?
Yeah. So it's fine. It's nothing to do with you guys. It's at my end. So I'll use what we've recorded before, and I'll fix it in the post edit. I'm just going to reset something here.
Okay. You only have to cut it after Harry's last answer.
Yeah.
And then you can ask the question that I was waiting for.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no trouble.
We did so well, Dolf.
Yeah. Really, it was literally almost one take. We only had like a few minutes to go.
Yeah. Okay, so bear with me for a moment. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm happy with that. So I think if we could go from Harry, could you ask in a few moments, could you ask Dolf about, so we just finished talking about the development process, okay? And I'd like you to ask Dolf about who the compendium is really interesting for and why the target group should read it. Okay.
Yeah, actually, Nick, you may have noticed that we discussed the development process before I asked Harry to talk about the other white paper.
Yeah.
So don't deliberately cut it after the development process, because then you're missing some content. Okay.
No, don't worry. I'm going to watch it through. So we've got all of that.
All right.
But I think, I
think the order is not strictly important.
No.
You can swap it around if necessary, but
but no, I think that was nicely done, actually. And so I'll run it in the sequence that we've got so far, but I think if we can pick up from who the compendium is interesting for. Okay. So so Harry, this will be just make a note here. 2 minutes. Okay, fine. So off you go, Harry.
Okay. Dolf, now we have this compendium. Can you explain to the audience for who we have written this compendium, with whom in mind, who should read this, who would benefit from the content? Can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. I think the audience for this compendium is very broad. I mean, most services are being provided using one or more suppliers. So then it's logical that most service providers would be, knowingly or unknowingly, using some sort of a SIAM ecosystem. At the same time, we're moving from a service economy into what is called an experience economy. So the experience of the end users, the customers, and also the suppliers and the employees is becoming more and more important. So there's also a step to take for pretty much all service providers to focus more on the experience of the stakeholders in their services. Combining that led to this compendium and the white paper that the XLA Institute developed. So, I mean, I just want to keep it very broad and say, well, any service provider that is interested in working with multiple suppliers and is interested in moving into the experience economy should really be reading this compendium.
But think also service integrators, IT departments of organizations, resource organizations should benefit from this compendium. If those readers have questions or have great suggestions or ideas for a sequel or an extension, where should they go?
Well, what you will see appearing in the screen now is an QR code, isn't it? We need to cut it again. I'll just start over, Nick, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We don't need Harry to ask the question again.
No, we don't know. So we can go straight from your answer.
What is an XR code? Nothing.
I'm not sure, but it could be. I would
an experience code or something.
Well, yeah, exactly. Patent it. All right, because in the future, when you're on your private island having made your millions, okay, you can send me a postcard saying it was all down to the patenting of the XR code. So there you go. All right, very good.
Okay.
So yeah, when you're ready, Dolf.
Yeah. So what you will see appearing in the screen is a QR code that will lead you to the SIAM community. The SIAM community is this whole group and constantly growing group of volunteers who are interested in SIAM, in service integration and management. And there you will also find, well, myself and everybody that I collaborated with on the experience management compendium, on all the other compendiums in the body of knowledge. And there is where you can really start collaborating, start contributing to the community as well, based on your own background and experience. So I really want to invite everybody who sees this to become a member of the Scopism SIAM community. It's all for free, of course, and no strings attached, so do join. Having said that, we're coming to the end of this video now. I want to thank Harry, first of all, for the pleasant collaboration and being with me on this video. And
thank you, Dolf. It was a great journey.
Likewise. And of course, being all my co-authors and all the reviewers that contributed to this compendium, and especially, of course, the XLA Institute itself for their collaboration with Scopism on this. So thank you, everyone, for viewing this video.